The polished mahogany table in the New York law office stretched before me like a vast, gleaming canyon. A single envelope sat at its center, pathetically small against the dark wood. $5. That's all Dad left me, $5 and a handwritten note. I'm Samantha, an investigative journalist with a knack for asking the right questions, but right now I'm frozen, staring at that envelope as my stepsister, Ka, bounces in her chair like she's won the lottery. And, well, she basically has. Mary, our family lawyer, clears her throat, her voice steady as she reads the will. The Burke estate, including all real estate, investments, and Burke Industries, transfers in full to Ka Nelson. The words hit like a punch. This can't be real. I blurted out before I can stop myself, my voice sharp, slicing through the room's heavy silence. Ka smirks, already tapping her phone, probably texting her interior designer about redecorating Dad's Manhattan penthouse. Dad always called me his favorite, said I deserved the world because I stood for truth. But Ka? He doted on her, said she was special, destined to make a difference. I gripped the armrest, nails digging into my palms. Responsibility was his mantra, not Ka's endless shopping sprees or Instagram posts. Mary adjusts her glasses, her tone calm. There's more to discuss. But Ka's already halfway out the door, her designer heels clicking, a cloud of floral perfume trailing behind her smug laugh. You'll get an invite, Sam, she tosses over her shoulder, if you don't ruin the vibe. I stay seated, the $5 bill crumpled in my hand. Mary's voice softens. Samantha, your dad was a brilliant man. I hold up the bill, my voice bitter. Too brilliant for this. Her eyes flicker with something pity, maybe, or a secret. Sometimes, things aren't what they seem. I pack my bag, the weight of betrayal sinking in. Dad's note burns in my pocket, to my daughter, who asks the right questions. What was he trying to tell me? The Manhattan streets buzzed with late-morning traffic as I stepped out of the law office, the $5 bill heavy in my pocket. Dad's note echoed in my mind, to my daughter, who asks the right questions. If he thought I'd let this go, he underestimated me. I'm Samantha, a journalist who lives for the truth, and I was done feeling betrayed. Something was off about that will, and I was going to find out what. I met Skylar, my best friend and research partner, at a cramped coffee shop in Greenwich Village. Empty espresso cups cluttered our corner table, papers scattered like a crime scene. $5? That's it. Skylar's eyes widened as I slid the bill across the table. Your dad owned half of Manhattan, Sam. I nodded, jaw tight. And Ka got it all. But Mary said things aren't what they seem. Skylar leaned in, her laptop glowing. Then let's dig. We started with Dad's financials. Skylar's fingers flew over the keyboard, pulling up bank records. Here's something weird, she said, pointing to a series of deposits into an account called the Legacy Fund. Every month for 15 years, Dad transferred money, always ending in 13 cents. 13 cents. I frowned. Dad never did anything by accident. My phone buzzed a text from Ka. Party Saturday. Dress fancy or don't bother. I ignored it, my gut telling me the answers weren't at her champagne-soaked gala. I called Talia, a former Burke Industries employee Ka had fired last week. We met at a diner near Central Park, her voice low and tense. Your dad was obsessed with empowering women in business, she said, stirring her coffee. He had a big plan, but the board kept shutting him down. Said it wasn't profitable. Her eyes darkened. Then he got sick, and Ka let Ben run the show. Ben Nelson, Dad's right-hand man. I jotted his name in my notebook, a spark igniting. Did Dad mention anything specific? Talia shook her head. Just that he was working on something life-changing. Back at the coffee shop, Skylar and I kept digging. Late that night, I found a sticky note in my bag, Mary's handwriting, an address for a storage unit in a Brooklyn industrial park. Unit 13, Skylar read aloud, smirking. Your dad and his 13 obsession. We drove out at dawn, the city fading into gray warehouses. The metal door groaned open, revealing a dusty office that smelled of leather and old books, Dad's private sanctuary, hidden even from Ka. Filing cabinets line the walls, a cluttered desk at the center. I started with the most recent files, Skylar tackling the older ones. The silence was thick, broken only by rustling papers. Then Skylar gasped. "Sam, look at this." She held up a leather-bound ledger, pages filled with women's names, dates, and amounts: scholarships, legal fees, startup funds. Dad had been their silent champion. My heart raced as I found a sealed envelope tucked in the back, my name scrawled in Dad's familiar handwriting. Inside was a silver key fob, gleaming under the dim light, and another note: "The greatest legacy isn't what we leave behind, but what we start." I clutched the key, its weight grounding me. "Skylar, this is bigger than we thought." She nodded, eyes wide. "Your dad wasn't just leaving you $5. He was leaving you a mission." The ledger's pages whispered of secrets women Dad had lifted up, dreams he'd funded. But why hide it? And why give Ka everything? My phone buzzed again, Ka's party reminder. I shoved it away. The truth was here, in this dusty room, and I was just getting started. The silver key fob glinted in my hand, cold and heavy, as I stood in Dad's hidden Brooklyn office. Skylar's flashlight danced across the ledger's pages, each line a testament to women Dad had quietly supported: medical school scholarships, legal fees for startups, dreams he'd kept alive. His note burned in my mind: the greatest legacy isn't what we leave behind, but what we start. My hands trembled as I reread it, the words sinking deeper. $5 wasn't my inheritance. This was a puzzle only I could solve. "Sam, what's the key for?" Skylar's voice pulled me back. I traced its edges, my journalist instincts buzzing. "More than just doors," he said. We scoured the desk, fingers probing for hidden compartments. Skylar's nail caught on an ornate carving, a tiny keyhole, barely visible. I slid the silver key in, heart pounding. A soft click, and a panel popped open, revealing a USB drive and another envelope. My name, again, in Dad's slanted script. I tore it open. "Keep asking, Samantha. The truth is in the details." We raced back to my Manhattan apartment, the city's lights blurring past. Skylar plugged the USB into her laptop, her screen filling with files, reports, emails, bank statements. "Holy Sam, look at this." A document titled "Burke Industries Internal Review" detailed systematic harassment cover-ups, female employees silenced, complaints buried, firings disguised as restructuring. Ben Nelson's signature was on every page, his name a stain across Dad's company. My stomach churned. "Dad knew," I whispered. "He was fighting this." Skylar clicked another file, a ledger mirroring the one from the storage unit. More names, more payments, all tied to the legacy fund. "He funneled millions," she said, "to help the women his company failed." I thought of Talia's words at the diner: Dad's big plan, shut down by the board. He'd gone rogue, building a secret network under their noses. The 13-cent transfers? A code, marking his quiet rebellion. But why give Ka control? Why not me? My phone buzzed, a text from Talia: "Meet me at Riverside Park. Urgent." We met her by the Hudson, the river's dark water reflecting the city's glow. She clutched a manila envelope, her voice low. "Your dad helped me start my nonprofit. When he got sick, Ben saw his chance." She handed me the envelope. "He destroyed evidence, threatened witnesses, but missed these." Inside were statements from dozens of women: discrimination, harassment, careers derailed. Emails showed Ben orchestrating payoffs, burying lawsuits. "There's more," Talia said. "Ben's planning to sell the legacy fund, the one your dad used to empower women." Rage surged through me. Dad had built a lifeline, and Ben was dismantling it. I dialed my editor, voice steady despite the fire in my chest. "We're breaking this story." Talia grabbed my arm. "Ben will fight back. Hard." I nodded, thinking of Ka, surrounded by her glitzy party plans, oblivious to the rot in her new empire. "My sister needs to know, even if it breaks her." Back at my apartment, Skylar and I worked through the night, piecing together the evidence. The USB held a video Dad, frail but fierce, in his office. "If you're watching this, Samantha, you've found the truth. I gave Ka the company to test her. I gave the key. Save what matters." Tears stung my eyes. He trusted me to see beyond the surface, to uncover what he couldn't finish. At 3 a.m., my phone rang. Ka's voice trembled. Sam, is it true? Ben called an emergency board meeting, says your article's lies. I just emailed her the draft, every ugly detail laid bare. Read it, Ka. You'll see. Silence stretched, then a soft gasp. These women, I know some of them. They trusted us. She sounded young, lost. Ben says he'll handle it. I took a breath, Dad's words echoing. Face the truth, Ka, even when it hurts. You need to pick a side. She paused, the line crackling. I need to think. The call ended, and Skylar met my eyes. She'll come around, she said, but I wasn't sure. I turned back to my laptop, fingers hovering over the keys. Dad had given us both a choice, Ka with power, me with truth. The story would go live in hours, exposing Ben, the company, everything. I clutched the silver key, its weight a reminder of Dad's faith. Whatever Ka chose, I'd follow the story to the end, no matter where it led. Ka's Manhattan penthouse glittered with champagne fountains and ice sculptures, the lobby a swirl of caviar trays and gold-dusted chocolates. I adjusted my simple black dress, the silver key pin at my collar feeling like armor. A security guard blocked the service entrance, but Ka's voice rang out, sharp and commanding. Let her in. She descended the grand staircase in a gown worth more than my Brooklyn rent, her smile smug. Sam, you actually showed. That dress, though. I forced a grin, eyes scanning the crowd, Burke Industries' top executives circling her like vultures. Some party. Dad would have loved it. Ka snatched a champagne flute from a passing waiter, shrugging. It's not the priciest, but who's counting? If only she knew what I'd uncovered. Harassment cover-ups, buried complaints, female executives fired under Ben's orders. Dad had built a secret network to support those women, and I was here to expose the truth. I leaned in, voice low. Those quarterly reports, ever look at them? Ka waved me off. Ben handles the boring stuff. Ben Nelson, across the room, laughed with board members, his smirk oozing control. He'd orchestrated the discrimination policies I'd found in Dad's files. Ka pulled me upstairs, babbling about Italian marble for Dad's old office. I noticed the executives' reactions, whispered panic, nervous glances. They knew I was a journalist, a bloodhound for truth. We're gutting this floor, Ka declared, flinging open the office door. My breath caught. Dad's desk, that heavy oak one? She shrugged. Ben had it hauled off for a modern look. My heart sank. That desk had secret drawers. I'd seen Dad open them as a kid. Where is it now? Ka frowned. Some junk company took it. Sam, you okay? You look pale. A commotion downstairs saved me. Ben raised his glass, toasting new beginnings, his eyes locked on me, daring me to stay quiet. I grabbed a flute, raising it high. To legacy, I said loudly, voice cutting through the chatter. Ben's smile faltered. Ka tilted her head. What's that mean? I pulled out my phone, showing her the news alert. Burke Industries faces lawsuits over female employee mistreatment. Her face flushed. Ben says those claims are nonsense. I spotted Talia slipping into the party, her presence a silent challenge. Ask her, I said, nodding toward Talia. Fired for incompetence or because she knew too much? Ka gripped my arm, hissing. Don't ruin my night with your conspiracies. I pulled free, voice steady. Tonight's mine, too, Ka. The truth comes with your inheritance. She froze, the weight of my words sinking in. I headed for the door, pausing to look back. She stood small amidst her lavish decor, doubt creeping into her eyes. Outside, I texted Skylar, find that desk. Now. Her reply was instant, you won't believe who bought it. Hours later, Ka called, voice shaking. I read your draft, Sam. Those women, I trusted Ben. She'd hacked his email, seen the files I sent, names of women betrayed by the company she now ran. What do I do? I quoted Dad, face the truth, even when it hurts. She whispered, I'm in. The next morning, we stood in Burke Industries' boardroom, the air thick with tension. Ka clutched a tablet, her designer gown traded for a plain suit. Ben swaggered in, unaware of the storm coming. Mary joined us, her briefcase stuffed with documents. Solomon Burke opposed discrimination, she said, sliding papers across the table. These prove it. Ka stepped forward, voice firm. My inheritance has conditions. Major decisions need board approval, and the Women's Fund, Dad's secret network, holds the deciding vote. Ben lunged for the papers, but Ka signaled security. Talia handed out more files, shareholder records showing women Dad had empowered, now holding stakes in the company. Ka clicked a remote, the screen lighting up with a restructuring plan, ethical leadership, women's empowerment, backed by the legacy fund's millions. This is business, not charity, she said, her confidence growing. I stood beside her, addressing the board. Every woman here is a success story Dad believed in. Now vote, the old way or a future where profit meets purpose. Ben slammed the table, shouting, this company will fail. But an older board member rose, voice soft. Solomon built this vision. I see it again today. Votes poured in, unanimous for our plan. Ben's takeover bid crumbled. Police entered, cuffs ready. Benjamin Nelson, you're under arrest for fraud and witness tampering. His threats echoed as they dragged him out. Ka slumped into a chair, pale. I feel sick. I touched her shoulder. You did right. She looked up, eyes wet. What now? I smiled, the silver key pin gleaming at my collar. We rebuild, together. The Manhattan skyline glowed outside Burke Industries' boardroom, where Ka and I stood shoulder to shoulder, our silver key pins catching the light. Weeks after Ben's arrest, we were ready to unveil the Solomon Burke Fund for Women in Business. The room buzzed with women from Dad's secret network, entrepreneurs, CEOs, dreamers he'd lifted up. Talia handed out silver key pins, each a symbol of their place in this growing sisterhood. Ka's voice rang clear. Every woman we support will carry this key, unlocking her potential. Applause erupted, warm and fierce. I stepped forward, heart full. We're also partnering with 12 major corporations to launch similar programs. The ripple effect starts now. The screen behind us flashed images, women receiving grants, mentorship sessions, new policies signed. In the front row, an older board member wiped tears, his nod a quiet echo of Dad's faith. Ka turned to the crowd. Dad gave us a choice to compete or to lift each other up. We chose to lift. Her words, once unthinkable from the party girl I knew, carried a leader's weight. Later, in Dad's old office, now the fund's shared workspace, his oak desk sat restored, its hidden drawers holding new plans. Mary joined us, her smile soft. Your dad left something for you both. She handed over a small package, sealed with his instructions. Open when you've proven you can work together. Inside was a framed photo of Dad and Mom at the company's founding, both wearing silver keys. Mom, an investigative reporter like me, had been his first partner in empowering women. A note taped to the back read, for my daughters. $5 was enough. Some inheritances aren't measured in money. Love, Dad. Tears stung my eyes. Ka whispered, he knew we'd figure it out. Talia burst in, phone in hand. Applications are flooding and women nationwide want to join the fund. Ka grinned. Don't keep them waiting. We've got work to do. As they planned, I lingered at the desk, tracing its worn wood. Ka paused at the door. Coming. I smiled, pulling open a drawer. Just thinking about that $5. I lifted a small frame, the crumpled bill mounted beside Dad's note, to my daughter, who asks the right questions. Perfect, Ka said, her voice soft. I hung it next to our parents' photo, a reminder of where we started. Outside, the media frenzy waited, hungry for statements on Ben's downfall and our turnaround. But in that moment, I saw Dad's bigger picture, 2 sisters, different strengths, one heart. Ka linked arms with me, her key pin gleaming. I'm selling the penthouse, she said. 12 bedrooms, marble fountains? Dad never wanted that. The fund needs it more. We stepped into the elevator, ready to face the press. Chaos greeted us, cameras flashing, reporters shouting. Ka squeezed my hand. Thank you for not giving up on me. I met her eyes. Dad never did. Let's make him proud. Our silver keys caught the light as we faced the crowd, announcing the fund's launch. Social media buzzed. Skylar texted, "You're trending." Ben's watching from prison. I smiled. Let him. At the annual shareholders' meeting, the room hummed with new faces, women stepping from shadows into power. I took the stage, voice steady. A year ago, I held $5 and a note. Today, I know what it bought: truth, justice, change. Ka joined me, her confidence unshakable. And perspective, she added. True wealth is lives improved. The audience roared, the elder board members' tears now joined by others. Dad's vision lived in every key pinned to a lapel, every hand raised in solidarity. As we left the stage, Ka adjusted my bent key pin, her touch gentle. Ready for what's next? I nodded, smoothing my jacket. Our keys matched, a promise forged through fire. Dad's $5 hadn't bought wealth, it bought purpose, a legacy we'd carry forward, side by side, changing lives one truth at a time.